Hey guys, Palsteron here, and today let's talk about 3.15 Nerf predictions. So I always really like these kinds of videos. I think I watched it first from It's Yoji. A lot of people do them, so I thought I would just chime in a little on balanced discussion. I play this game a lot, so maybe I have something interesting to say, who knows. I also want to mention that I have no stake in this, so I'm not really hoping for any of these to get nerfed. I don't hate fun. I just kinda developed a nose for GGG's Nerf patterns over the years. So it's always fun to make kind of a bingo and see how much you get right. I usually just take whatever they give me and work with it. So that's the kind of player I am. I'm not super mad about nerfs. I'm not super happy about buffs. It is whatever it is. And yeah, but with that being said, let's get into the video. Number one on the list, essences. Now, I made a Atlas guide video on this already, but yeah, essences found in areas every tier higher, way too strong. Now, I think what they will do is they will somehow change these nodes around, or maybe put it into a worse region, or maybe they think that nerfing ritual will be enough. I don't know, but I would hope they just don't give us essence like benchcraft here. I don't know. Like I'm pretty sure that if they don't give us Zana map mod essence and they nerf the nodes, essences are basically dead in the water. So I hope that's not what it happens, but I fear that's what's gonna happen. The thing with essences this league is this mechanic doesn't really slow you down. Like you just get basically free currency in every map. Which is very different to like Ritual or Blight or Breach, where your map basically takes twice as long, so you don't make as much money as you feel like you do. But with essences, you don't really feel it because you only get a lot of small currency, but overall it just adds up to completely ridiculous levels. I don't know, I'm pretty sure they will change it somehow. Like I said, I hope it's just gonna be not giving us Sana Essence map mod, but yeah, we'll have to see. Number two, Fire Bursts. Now, this one has been popularized by one of the hardcore gods themselves, Uberden. Basically, what you do is just you hit something and you trigger level 20 Fireburst on hit. And with Elementalist, you're just going to do big ignites. And you just run over things and that's it. So this kind of playstyle is something that GGG really dislikes. Now, for example, a Herald stacker that just runs around and Herald of Thunder clears everything seems to be okay with them because they haven't really nerfed it. They have even introduced new ways to scale it. And I think the main reason for that is that Herald builds don't have any single target, or at least really bad single target, even for mirror tier gear. But the problem with Fire Burst is it doesn't have really any weaknesses, right? So it even has single target. It has basically everything you would want in a build, so I fear that GGG is going to nerf this one. Now, chances are maybe it's just going to be the Ignite mechanic, which we're going to talk about in a second. There's going to be a few nerfs to Ignite, I'm pretty sure. Maybe this doesn't get even nerfed. Maybe they will just nerf everything around it. I hope it still stays viable. It's a fun playstyle, but yeah. Number three, Chainbreaker. Now, this is a playstyle that has been popularized by Quantric and Rutu, and don't get me wrong, I don't actually think that they will nerf the keystone, but they will nerf the interaction with reduced mana cost, because usually a reduced mana cost refers to mana or life, but there is a few outliers with the tireless cluster here, and especially with the unwavering focus medium cluster. So I think that this node here will get nerfed. It will just be, instead of reduced cost of channeling, it will be reduced mana and life cost of channeling. And it will exclude the rage cost here. But yeah, this build is just way too busted as it currently is. I don't think they should touch the keystone itself, like I said. I think they should just change this and make this into kind of like an interesting, maybe even buff it, honestly. After this gets nerfed, it's probably not going to do anything. So yeah, maybe they can do something interesting with it that doesn't revolve like stacking Berserk for, I don't know, like 16 seconds at a time. I don't know. It was too strong. It is too strong in its current iteration. Like I said, I played two different Cyclone versions with this keystone. It's completely busted. You get over 500% movement speed with basically perma Berserk up. But yeah, I hope this one kind of lives in some form. Maybe they also just nerf Berserk itself a little. That would be nice. Maybe it would make Rage itself a little bit better, because currently the problem with Rage is that it's only really used as a resource to get to Berserk, and the Rage buffs themselves don't really matter, which is also a problem that makes Berserker a lot less good. So I don't know. I hope they do something creative with Chainbreaker, but I have a feeling that they will just leave this one in the dust and nerf this one and render this whole interaction completely useless. Number 4, the Nemesis Currency Sextant. Now, this sextant is currently being forced to use with the Harbinger nodes and Auspicious Watchstones to kind of generate a lot of loot, a lot of small currency. A lot of people are thinking that Harbinger will get nerfed. I beg to differ. I think in this case they actually will go for the root cause, which is the Nemesis Sextant. And the simple reason for that is this sextant has been a problem for them over a couple of leagues. If you remember, there's usually some kind of strat revolving around that one sextant. And as we've seen, it feels like they don't want sextants to be like some kind of strategy. They only want it to be something on top. They don't want to like have to balance it and stuff. So I think they're going to straight up either remove it or change it completely to where it will be rendered almost useless with Harbingers. I think there's no problems with Harbingers whatsoever. I hope they see it the same way. I hope Harbingers stay fun, but the Nemesis Sextant is kind of a problem. Now, honestly, I think the method has been currency-wise very overrated. Like if you compare it to like Blade farming in Lyra Athane or Essence farming in Hayward Hamlet, I think this is actually worse currency-wise. But GGG doesn't really nerf in terms of strength, they nerf in terms of what the community thinks is the strongest. And since a lot of streamers have been kind of promoting this playstyle and a lot of people are doing it, obviously this is going to get some kind of banhammer. So I think rest in peace Nemesis Sextant. Number 5, Elementalist. Now, do I think Elementalist should be nerfed? Probably not. There's probably better ways. I think that Elementalist is just a little bit too convenient, I guess. I do not think that golems are the problem, just gonna point that out. I think the problems is just that you get a lot of quality of life, a lot of damage, yeah, something that shouldn't be as easy to scale, like Ignite, this makes it very easy to scale. So what I think will happen is that Shaper of Flames will go from 25% more damage to either 20 or maybe even 15, which would be, that would be a yikes from me. I think this might be reduced from 25 to 20%. Like I said, hopefully not 15 as well. I think Heart of Destruction is fine as it is. And I hope they don't touch the golems. I don't think there's anything wrong with the golems right now. I think they have a huge payoff. They're kind of clunky in very high-end maps, even though they respawn, because sometimes in the 4 seconds that they respawn, you're gonna get hit and maybe you rely on that physical damage reduction on that region and it's gonna be rough, or you're like, you need the accuracy or whatever it is. Golems, in my opinion, are fine as is. You have to it's kind of a payoff, but some of these nodes are going to get changed. I don't think Elementalist is going to get completely butchered. They're just going to bring the numbers down a little. And yeah, while I do not agree with this nerf, I think it's going to come. Number 6, fire damage over time, medium cluster jewels. Do I think they deserve it? Yes. This one is actually nerf I would agree with. I hope they do it. What I hope they are going to do is give us more option on the passive tree itself. Right now, scaling Ignite just on the tree is almost impossible. That's why you need these. If you ever wondered why these are so expensive this league, that's why. Like, what do you get? Like Holy Fire and like this cluster maybe. I don't know. That's literally it. It is embarrassing how little actual Ignite scaling you get on the tree. It's actually so little that I think it should be like maybe even 2 clusters more. I don't know. I don't think 1 cluster will do the trick, because if you, for example, look at Poison, they have a ton of good options, like for weapon-based, for whatever. And what does Ignite get? Nothing. Like the Ignite damage over time attack cluster is down here. That's no Burning Arrow build is ever going to path here because it has to be up here. So I think that this should be nerfed, but there has to be something to compensate, in my opinion. But yeah, having to stack 6 of these or 4 of these in basically every Ignite build is just kind of dumb. It really makes it a lot less fun to build these, because it's kind of a no-brainer. Basically every Ignite build that I've ever made that is like completely min-maxed goes like here, here, and here, and just puts in large cluster, medium, medium, large cluster, medium, medium, large cluster, medium, medium, and then it takes every life node that it can get. It takes the Holy Fire. This one isn't even worth it because you would have to path here. It's kind of a shit show, honestly, and it's really, really annoying. So just for that kind of sake, I would like it to get nerfed and then compensated for on the passive tree. Now, two nodes that I want to point out that I think should be nerfed are Blowback and Cooked Alive, because these are just way better than the other nodes. Now, for Blowback, the ignites you inflict deal damage 15% faster. I think this could be brought down to like 12%, 10%, I don't know. At that point, you're kind of looking at, is that even a notable? I don't know. But at least 12% it should be brought down. Now, you might think that's not much, but if you run 6 of these, that's not a 3% nerf, that's actually a 15% nerf. So yeah, other than that, Cooked Alive, I mean, this is like the best notable. You should probably have 6 of these in every Ignite build, at least 4. Minus 10 fire res is huge. Ignites builds do not have fire penetration because fire penetration doesn't affect damage over time. So reducing enemy resistance is a very hard stat to get other than curses. So this is just crazy. In my opinion, this should be nerfed to at least 8, but maybe even 7. I think that at 7, it would still be probably the best medium cluster notable. But yeah, I hope they, like I said, I don't want Ignite to go. I love Prolif. I just hope they somehow give you more options on the passive tree. Do I think it will happen? No. If we look back at like Poison and Ignite, usually they get nerfed one patch and then they get like buffed again 2 or 3 patches later. And in between, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. There's nothing to play here. So I hope I'm wrong. But yeah, they will nerf this one. I'm pretty sure they will nerf some of these medium cluster notables. Hoping in future that they give us more options on the passive tree. Next up, Secrets of the Stones. Now, do I think this needs to get nerfed? Maybe, but the main reason why I think they will nerf it is because of the Meticulous Watchstone. Now, this basically makes it so with the 25% effect you get from 4 rituals to always having 5 rituals, which is just completely goes out of, like, it gets completely crazy. Let's just put it that way. Now, after having talked to Milky BK, whose YouTube channel you should be checking out, but he basically farmed 10 mirrors with this method, and with 10 mirrors, I mean actually mirrors in the ritual, like offerings. But he also said he lost like 9.5 mirrors, and it took him like forever. So in his opinion, it made him like no currency basically, or very, very little currency. But as we talked about already, what GGG nerfs is more what is in the kind of community's mind. And this is something that is kind of in the community's mind right now as being OP or whatever. But like I said, the people who are actually doing it aren't really telling me too good things. I haven't tried it out myself. I haven't done this for like hundreds of maps. I've only been filling ritual vessels for people, and that was very, very lucrative. The thing is, once this hype dies down, once it gets like nerfed, even that will kind of go away. But yeah, so one of the problems I also see with Secrets of the Stones, now this is an outlier, right? Like going from 4 to 5 rituals, that's crazy. Usually this is just some random numerical change, which is good, but it's not like OP. But I think this kind of limits their design space in the future. So that's why I think this might get hammered down to like 15 or 20%. Hopefully it still stays at 20%. Maybe they will just be more mindful in the future about what mods they put on Watchstones. But yeah, I think this one will get gutted. Number 8, Slams. I don't know. Will they finally get nerfed? I'm just going to put it on here. I have no clue. They haven't been doing anything to it in the last 2 leagues. It's like the go-to for basically every hardcore player. You don't need really much damage scaling to make it good. You can just go for life nodes. Vol Ground Slam was just one of the latest examples of that. But yeah, Earthshatter has been insane for leagues now. I don't know. Will they do something about it? No clue at this point. Maybe they like it. Maybe they want to incentivize people to click more buttons and they're just going to leave it as it is right now. I don't know, like maybe they don't balance around hardcore, but yeah, these could definitely be knocked down a little. Warcries and slams in general are just kind of OP and make it kind of hard to play other skills. I mean, Cyclone has obviously an appeal because it's very fast, but other than that, a lot of skills that cannot use Warcries are just left behind. So I don't know what they will do about it. I hope they do something about it, but yeah, we gotta see. Number 9, Self-Chill. Do I think Self-Chill needs to get nerfed? Nope, I don't. I think that a lot of the time, people who run Self-Chill in basically every build don't actually know that Torrent Reclamation exists. They maybe have never read through the Summon Greater Harbinger of Time in the wiki page. I don't know. But yeah, reserving your belt spot is never really good for a mapper, and obviously when you're going for speed, you're going for a mapper. So in my opinion, it's just kind of way too much work for what it gives you. Now, do I think it will get nerfed? Yes, because it's in everybody's mouth. And like I said, it not being that good is just from my own experience, from my own path of building experience, and playing around with it in basically every build. Because every build I post, people are asking me, can I make a self-chill version of this nowadays? Because it got popularized by some streamers. I don't know. I don't think it needs a nerf, but I think it will get nerfed. As always, GGG more or less more nerfs after what the public thinks rather than what's actually OP. So yeah, they will probably change like cold conduction. I hope it stays around in some capacity. It would be cool to make some Fulcrum builds, for example, in the future. But yeah, we gotta see. Number 10, mana stacking, and especially Archmage mana stacking. Now, the problem with mana stacking is with every one of these, kind of like the same as with int stacking or strength stacking, is that you're scaling defenses as well as offenses. This makes it really, really good in hardcore, for example, which is where the mana stackers shine, honestly. One of the problems with mana stackers is you don't really have that much space to go for speed and stuff. So in softcore, it's kind of it's still a lot of damage, but you don't really get the movement speed. You probably don't really get the AoE going. You don't really have skills at your disposal that are good at clearing. So if we go at like slam skills, for example, who haven't gotten nerfed in forever, and they are also a prime example of what would be really good in hardcore, then maybe they don't get nerfed, the mana stackers. I think they are on the same tier level as slam skills in terms of power. Kaiser made a really, really good ball lightning build. He obviously completely min-maxed the living hell out of it, made a really, really good passive tree. So yeah, maybe they kind of saw that and thought, it's a little icky. Maybe they will just adjust Archmage a little down. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think this is completely necessary. Maybe we should let this play out a little bit more. But it's definitely on the list of things that might get nerfed next patch. But yeah, that's just my top 10 predictions. That's it for the video. If I forgot something, put it down in the comments. This is just on the top of my head what I thought was kind of shining through this league. Some really, really interesting things. Like I said, a lot of these predictions are about what I think GGG will do, not necessarily what I would do. But yeah, with that being said, since I still don't have a slogan, see you next time.